Hello again. I missed you guys. I've been gone for a few days. I know I didn't leave you alone long enough to miss me, but here I am, and cross your fingers and hope that my camera behaves, because it's in the 90s out here under my tent, and I had a recent issue with a focusing thing where I couldn't take pictures with this particular camera, and I would like it to work. This is a 16 by 20 inch primed canvas. And it was primed first with neon pink and a few other things, and you can tell that I used my spatula through there. That's a OXO omelet turning spatula, available on the Amazon link. When you click under Show More, you'll find the Amazon link, and there's all kinds of cool stuff in there, including my book called Because I Can. Check that out. I think there's the availability of reading some of that for free. I don't know how it works. I haven't tried. I actually had to buy some. So I want to do a geometric, because I love the geometrics, and I really want to find out what it's going to look like to put other colors of paint onto this primed neon pink canvas, which I was trying to say. Did I say? I'm not sure. Had a little bit of spritz of magenta in there, and maybe some red, and my red isn't Anita's, unless it's a Arteza, unless it's something else, and my magenta is always a golden product because it's got the most color intensity. So the only way for me to do this is basically just to start, but it's good. My glasses are clean, but my canvas is not. It looks like the last time I tried to do something, the wind must have been blowing. So we're going to just hope that all of my mark making will cover that up. Let's see, what am I going to use? I'm going to use that acetate card and that playing card, which is also acetate. Acetate is just plastic, and I've got a few other things, and I'm not sure how large I'm willing to go, but I might be willing to go quite large. Looks like there was an almighty wind out here, as I recall, recently, so I got to be a little cautious about what I put on there. And I think I'm going to try the color that I just shook up. Really? How can that even be wet? Really? That's weird. Okay, never mind. Let's just find something that will make a mark. That is really blue. Let's find something that I can mix that with and see what happens next. Let's just go a little ways. It's a start. I'm not going to mind the drag marks from the old paint today, because they are texture, and I want to see what happens with a little bit of texture. I can also press my card right into the canvas and still get a little more texture. It occurs to me it probably would have been okay to make some new cards rather than have all this wonderful texture. But sometimes you find things out the hard way. And I'm just going to keep taking the tops off my bottles, and I left them on because I had a class the other day and they were all inside, and I got really tired of them flagging up on me. So I took all the tops off and looked for all the little filaments of paint that might be floating around in there and removed them. So far I'm not impressed with this color scheme, but you know, I've never worked on this pink before, so that is an Art Minds Mystique. It's sort of like a color shift. It's called Iridescent on the package. Let me find something I want to go with that. I like that turquoise. See, with the lines drawn through the geometrics, that means the pink shows up behind, which is not really bad. Anyway, do not judge your artwork too early on in the game, because it will mess with your head. I promise you, you won't be any happier for thinking bad thoughts, and you will be a lot happier for thinking positive, this could work out for me thoughts. I promise you, really and truly, I'm telling the truth. Sometimes not thinking at all is the best policy. That was what I started with, so let's go for something else and see how that works. I still haven't moved into my oranges or any more purples. I guess I am just going to keep using this big card for a while. I'm going to press it down and see if I can make a line. Oh, I like it when that happens. I like those little dip marks. I want to use some black, but I think I'm going to start with some Prussian blue and see how I like that. I'm just going to keep moving around, and I better keep moving, because honestly, it is a pretty hot day. like I said. I want to try my gold mica powder, but it is too hot out here, and I know it gets very liquid, so I'm going to go ahead and give myself permission for the other gold that I mixed up, which is basically half and half Artist Loft, and the rest is a folk art. It's like 10 bucks for some little jar, but it always makes me feel like I'm, you know, splurging on something that's really good, because that little jar has some really brilliant gold in it. It's in the craft section at Hobby Lobby. It's probably also at Michael's. I just don't know where, and I haven't looked for it there. You can never tell what's in the craft section at Michael's. It's not the first place, not the first stop on my list. So I haven't used any of my magenta like I was saying I would. And I don't mind the schmutz on my card. I kind of want to mix some things that I'm not used to mixing and see how that goes. So what have I got over there? I got everything over there. Maybe I want to wipe that off. I keep a studio cloth. In my case, it's made out of sweatshirt material and turned inside out. So I got the fuzzy side down. I want to try the pearl. And if that works, I might put some of that beautiful shimmering Art Minds purple that I do not know the legitimate name of. And I'm not minding making some interesting marks, and I still haven't used my black like I threatened to, but I'm so not done threatening to do that. I'm tempted. What am I tempted to do? Well, I guess I'm tempted to do that right there. And try and get my hand to release the cap. I'm just going to mix those together. I'm going to risk it. And what have I got in there? I've got white pearl on one side. Not one thing has gone all the way to the edge yet, which I'm kind of surprised about. The thinner the paint, the faster it will dry also, so I want to be a lot cautious about that. So far, I'm not sure about anything yet. I think that red might be more red than I need, but by the same token, let's just go for a little purple. And what else? I haven't tried the orange with it yet. I can do that. Yes, it must be time for orange, or almost time for orange, or we'll find out what orange looks like. It looks okay. I think I need more of it. I think it's going to disappear. I really had to give the, I want some more of that purple up there. I really had to give the canvas 2 coats. I did not have a choice. It was way too see-through. Let me just grab another little card. Don't ask me why. It's the OCD thing. I know I'm going to have some definite areas where I just want a line, but I'm not sure. It doesn't look like my straight line ability is intact today, so I'm going to have to be a little patient with myself about that. And I got 8 minutes left. And it doesn't matter where I keep going to start, because I'm eventually going to add a color or a shape that's going to adjust things. I'm very tempted by some yellow. I don't know if I want to really fill stuff up yet, all on one side. But I do want to see what that yellow looks like. And I am going to add some gold to it, like I often do. And then I think a lot of orange right across there. And that's probably wider than my card, so I'm going to grab a different card. And I have red on that. Oh well. Am I going that way? I am. And a little bit of leftover purple. And I see all this is looking not too straight. So I'm going to kind of try and straighten it up a little bit. And I'm going to bring that schmutz back over here and use it to add a little interest to that spot. Now, do I want purple over there, or do I want black? I want black. I see a spot. I like it when they're more spontaneous than that. What are you going to do? Sometimes it's just necessary to attempt to make a straight line. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And as long as the paint is still wet, I got a good shot at using it somewhere else. If I pick it up on the edge of my card. It's getting a little better as time goes on. The nice thing about residual black is a little goes a long way to make a mark, which is really... I did not shake my neon because I didn't think I was going to use it, but it might be the perfect thing to pull paint with, and I know it sells. I just don't have any faith in it showing up. It's sort of like, in this case, it seems like it would be more like a clear. This is bugging me. I need some purples in there. Let's just give it the old neon folk art and see how those two mix. And it'll be first. I'm trying to leave those tops off, but after I clean my tips out, I wanted them back on. So that's okay, except for I want something down along that edge. It's looking better. And I like all that with that showing through, so I think I'm going to leave that. Not only that, I get nervous when I've been away from this for days, so I'm actually pretty pleased that I'm not shaking up a storm. Whatever that color is, it is what it is right now. I want some dark purple to mix in with that. Maybe. Probably. Do I see it? Show yourself to me. I know you're here. Right there. Goody. I like it when plan comes together. Maybe on that side. Use some of that. Yes, I'm particularly enjoying the marks today, even though I might have given the impression I wasn't. If I really wasn't, I wouldn't be using them. So I'm going to use my leftover paint on the edge of my card and just add a little something something to the edge and think about this. I'm actually going to wipe off my card. I might wipe off a couple of cards, although the rest are probably drying pretty quick. I want some more yellow in here than I have. And I'm fortunate that it came out. That's cool. And that's better too. I also want some of that right here. Let's see, smaller card. It's going to be very interesting. My wobbly hand is actually making pretty cool patterns. I keep saying that. I want. I want to keep the paint out of my way is what I really want. There, I'm not doing anything more than pressing that in, and I kind of like the idea of adding some red in here, but I'm not sure what I really want to do with that. I know I don't want to use a skewer. That yellow is loud. It looks almost like neon yellow on the neon pink background. I think I want a clean skewer to stick it in while the paint is still wet and thick, so that I can roll it sideways some and make a slightly more uniform mark, which is not necessarily important, except for to me at this moment. Maybe less uniform is more important than more uniform. But I like the orange, and it's not standing out enough for me. So I'm going to give it some more. And I'm going to run out of time, I can tell now. Darn. But I should tell you, when the timer goes off in 2 minutes, that if I start now, then I won't panic. I really like this better than a lot of things I'm seeing in there, so I'm going to go for a little bit more of that. And I have a nice, yes, variation on a theme. This is it. I want to do, what do I want to do? I want to go and add a whole bunch of stuff that I want to pull sideways. And just play with the combinations right now before you're gone. And tell you, if you shop my Amazon link, it's at no added cost to you and it helps me out. If you are willing to give me a thumbs up, it is so very much appreciated, because it helps the YouTube algorithm know to place my videos in more areas so more people can see them, and that in turn helps me out. If you want to join the monthly contest, there's 5 paintings available right now. They're all 10 by 20 inches, and they're on the end screens of the video. In the last 20 seconds, you can find those. And I believe that there's also my web page is available to find there if you're looking for it. That's a lot better. I'm happy with that. It makes me want some paler blue. And I think the pale blue is way over there. And we're actually making better progress than I thought. And when the timer goes off, really? When the timer goes off, I'll come back for part 2 because I'm going to be finishing up. But the timer is going to come back, excuse me. I've got 2 minutes to tell you whatever else I'm going to tell you, which I always tell you. First of all, that I love you, and thank you for 63,000 subscribers. Yay. Awesomeness. Thank you very much. I do sell my artwork. If you're interested in that, just communicate with me through YouTube and leave me a comment, and I'll give you my email. And for anybody wanting my email, not wanting to communicate through YouTube, the email to contact me about lessons at the house in Spring Hill at the studio and to purchase artwork is easpbgallery, all one word, small case, at gmail.com. Let's see how these go together. They look very similar. So I think that means I want something else in there. Maybe that something else is this something else. I have that skewer. It's got some paint on it. No, stay away from the skewer. Go ahead. Use your card. Alright, I am wishing that that timer had been set. Darn. Well, you're going to be gone in a second. So whatever I'm supposed to tell you is please give me a thumbs up. I think I mentioned that. That helps me. If you watch more of the video, that helps me. If you contribute to the studio through PayPal or Patreon, you will be included in this month's contest for those artworks I was mentioning that I got distracted and forgot to keep telling you about. Yes, I'm using my finger, and no, I don't care. Best tool you've got on the end of your arm. I think I've said that a few times. So this is kind of cool, and it's coming along. I don't know where it's going to go from here, but I think it needs some white from what I can tell. And around here somewhere I've got a crib sheet, and that will tell you what I'm forgetting to tell you, which is, oh, on the end screens, 600. There are over 600 videos. I don't know that you can find them all anymore since YouTube changed things, but if you ever have a question for me or you want to find something you can't find, I'm still willing to go out of my way to look for it for you. As busy as I might be, I love you guys. I want to help you out, and you help me out all the time. And I want to say thank you before we're gone to all of the subscribers and all the contributors and all the people who have kept my morale up with wonderful comments and generosity of spirit. I really love you guys. I really, really do. Yes. I am just going to keep going for a moment, and it's really hot out here, and I hope my camera will keep recording, but if it doesn't for some reason, then you saw the best part of this come about, and cross your fingers that I'll be back in a second. Alright, I'm going to stop now before you're gone, and hopefully I'll remember whatever I forgot in part 2.